Bro, how's your girlfriend treating you? Explain it in football terms so the women won't understand.
Okay.
Some of these were bars, bro.
Okay.
Almost poetic how good they were.
Okay,
right.
okay.
She signed, played, and got injured. She's expected to be out for 9 months.
That's the whole season.
Yes, the whole season.
That's the whole season's charge. Yeah, we go again next.
The manager is pleased with the player, but rumours have it the player is negotiating terms with their previous club over a loan spell without obligation to buy. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's technical.
Without obligation to buy.
She's just trying
She's just
dipping in and dipping out.
Dipping in, dipping out with the ex. No obligations.
No, that's crazy.
My main contract is with a team in the Premier League. I'm currently away on loan to a lower division team where I'm scoring so many goals. The lower league team is treating me so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's away on loan.
Yeah, he's away on loan, bro.
Jokes.
And the dude team's giving him everything.
Banging in
all
goals.
the glory. It's not Premier League.
Yeah.
But it feels right.
Yeah. The goals are more reoccurring.
Yeah, bro. I'm doing well here.
Yeah.
I'm doing really well here.
You consider staying.
Yeah, you're considering staying. She's playing me out of position, ignoring my runs, and still expects hat-tricks every match. Coach won't sub me out either. Bro.
That's jokes.
Still expecting hat-tricks every match is funny.
Good morning, welcome back. Sorry, I had to play it. I saw it this morning and thought it was absolutely hilarious. I thought, you know what, I'm going to share that one.
It's funny.
I can think of a few. Right, first and foremost, people, apologies for the lack of content over the last, probably over the last week and a half, I was thinking this morning. I'll be honest with you, I've been an absolute pussy and let hay fever get the better of me. That and also the fact that there's limited news, and I don't want to do shows just for the sake of shows. But we are back. So from now on, I am going to be doing shows for the sake of doing shows every day. But it's Pulp Fiction. It's Tuesdays, joined by my good friend Pulpy. How are you, bro?
Good, but well, mate. Yeah, doing all right. Going good. Yeah.
Good.
There's not much happening, though, in football world, is there? Let's be honest. It's quiet. So don't hold it against yourself, mate.
There's the Club World Cup. Apart from that, do you know what I think sums it up? The fact that people are still going on about Wirtz joining Liverpool. And it's like I think it only got announced last week, but it was like, well, yeah, but he's been joining Liverpool for the last month, hasn't he?
Yeah.
we know he's
dragging
joining
it out,
Liverpool.
Dragging it out.
He has been dragging out a bit, but you've been catching much of the Club World Cup or just the City games?
No, highlights, mate. I didn't even watch the City game the other night. I finished work at 12 o'clock, mate. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to watch 4 more hours.
I was going to do a watch long, but I woke up at like 1:45 and I put it on, and then I drifted back to sleep and I woke up at 5 past and thought, you know what, I'm not doing a watch long. I'm just going to watch it in bed. So I watched it in bed. But yeah, do you know what? A very convincing win. From what you saw, who stood out for you?
Oh, Ait Nouri, man. It was beautiful, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I watched it last week. Yeah, he was brilliant, man. And Gundogan.
Yeah. But I see, this is, do you know what that confirms to me, right? That a Gundogan that is not playing every game, a Gundogan that gets a rest is still good enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I still go back to when we signed him last summer. The reason why we signed him wasn't to come in and be an every game player. When you see Gundogan, when he's had rest, he still looks good enough.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, I'm not saying let's keep him and let's play him every game. So before people start that one, he is still a good player.
He's still a really good player. He has a lot of value, right? I said a year ago, never go back, don't go back. It's not, you know what I mean? And it didn't work out in the end. But if we'd have got this version of Gundogan, it'd have been a bit different. But I just don't. I think it's like a year or two further down the line, really. And he served a purpose. But fair play to him. You know what I mean? He's putting it in, isn't he? You know, he's he's fighting to stick around, and he's making it. If he plays like that, you can't not have him about.
Yeah, it gets difficult.
And Bernardo Silva, if he plays Bernardo Silva in midfield the way he plays like that, you can't. As much as everyone wants these old boys gone, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
You know what? But I've said this a few times. If you go back to the Euros last summer, right? Gundogan started the Euros on form, right? Looking really, really good. First game looked quality. And then every game he got slightly worse. And it's like, yeah, that's because of his age. Like, that's going to happen. You keep consistently playing him. But I do think Gundogan was good. Very bizarrely, in the team of the week, Akanji got him.
Oh, I was just seeing that now. Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. The way that player, what do they call it? What's the most impact? It's not man of match, is it? It's something else. What do they call it? Something else proper woke in it.
It's just weird. Like, you got Gundogan getting man of the match. You've got Ait Nouri looking really, really good. You've got, Echeverri scoring, all these different things. And the fact that they've gone with Akanji against a team that probably didn't really threaten us that much, I'm thinking,
you know what that is, don't you? That's probably SofaScore merchants that are doing them.
Yeah. He probably touched the ball loads.
Superior player, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, superior player of
the match. Yeah, get out of town.
What? What's that? A FIFA thing?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it instead of man of the match or player. It's not usually man of the match. Now it's player of the match because they don't want to upset people. And now it's superior player of the match. Get out of town. Someone needs a slap, don't they?
Woke, yeah, it's woke. Very woke. And I don't know if you saw the other thing yesterday was the fact that, so you saw the Rico Lewis foul, right? That he got sent off.
Yeah, that's a crime, isn't it?
Right. Well, it's a crime that he got a red, right?
Yeah.
It was a crime that VAR didn't overturn the red. But then it's even more of a crime that when FIFA look back at it, they haven't got
it's worse than what it was.
Yeah, I have two more. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Very bizarre.
That I was like, I can. You know what? Right. If you think about it, if you're looking at it and his studs have hit him in the face, and that's not kind of going to happen, right? But it's how it happened.
Yeah.
They both slid in. His legs have collided with him, and he's ridden up off somebody else's legs and gone up a little bit. It's not like it's an accidental collision, right? And if you're going to send him off for it, then fine, I see that. But to basically triple down on it and say, yeah, mate, you've done here 2 more games. Your Club World Cup could be over off that. It's like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Rico Lewis right now, you're thinking, I wish I would have gone to the fucking under-21s.
Yeah.
But, no, very, very weird. Very, very weird. What other games have I caught from there before we talk a bit more on the City one? I watched Atletico yesterday. I think Atletico have gone out. Yeah, they've gone out.
Yeah, they've gone out, yeah.
Yeah. Just question for you: Where would you put Alvarez in strikers in the world now?
He's got to be top 5, right? As a 9.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, top 5.
Haaland, Kane. There is one more I was thinking of that's definitely up there.
Haaland, Kane,
Isak,
absolutely, yeah.
Haaland, Kane, Isak, and then. One of my mates.
There's not many that stand out, is it? Not massive.
Someone said Gyökeres, right? And I thought,
maybe.
But I think because of the levels that Alvarez has been doing it at for 3 seasons now, it kind of makes me think, he's better than Gyökeres at this point because he's doing it at the top level. I caught that game. What else? I know it's PSG got beat, which. Really interesting, right? Because,
isn't it?
Well, there's been this, right, there's this real glaze. Firstly, let me be clear. PSG have been brilliant since February, right? January, February time. PSG have been really, really good, right? But there's been a real glazing of PSG. Like, I'm seeing things now like PSG's board is the best board ever and no one can test PSG's board. And it's like, okay, cool. But we haven't been saying this for the last however many years. Very recent.
Yeah, so it's been opposite for 9.5 out of 10 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, and now all of a sudden everything's unreal at PSG. PSG are unbeatable now at this point, right? Apparently, and then when they lost the other day, I just kind of said, said, "All right, is the glazing of PSG over now because they've just lost?" Right, and then someone came back to us, and a City fan, Kels, Kels, she's on Patrick's show. She's on quite a few channels. Kels, I noticed, tweeted saying, "But Daps, they really rotated and they actually looked good." And I thought, okay, cool, but the amount of abuse in our first game, our defence got, right? But that was a heavily rotated defence. So if we're
not allowed to rotate, we're not allowed to rotate. We're not allowed to have a deep squad. We're not allowed to do anything. We're not allowed to buy a rotating play. We're not allowed to do that because it's seen as
if we rotate, then it's we're playing the Unks again, or ultimately that defence looked shit, right? But okay, cool. A defence of Rico Lewis at right back, Nico O'Reilly on the left, and Vitor Hayes and Ake in the middle. Was a very heavily rotated defence, right?
Yeah, we either get punished for rotating and we lose, or if we rotate and we win and we look comfortable, it's like, City's second team in the world, the best second team in the world. It's like, come on, mate.
Yeah, agreed. And this comment right here,
extreme, isn't it?
Yeah, and this comment here, go and look at their starting lineup for the game. They should have battered them. Agreed. This is the thing. We rotated, you could say, for our first game. We still won 2-0. So, I don't know. It's quite interesting to see how PSG get later in the stages. And now they've lost a game because they might be a little bit rattled. But, right, let's get into our last game. By the way, there is 168 of you here, 90 likes. So the likes can go up. Come on, people. Let's get those likes over 100. My fault, I know, but the channel's algorithms have dropped a little bit, so those likes will help to push the algorithm back up. Echeverri's goal, great free kick, shit wall. Which one?
Bit
of both.
Absolutely dog shit wall.
The wall was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I could have scored that.
Yeah, the wall was. Yeah. I mean, and the worst thing is, one of them just didn't jump as well.
Yeah, they left a 3-foot gap, and the keeper didn't even. Well, to be fair, you've still got to hit it right.
Yeah, 100%. He caught it well, and Pep came out after the game and said apparently Echeverri's been practicing his free kicks. Do you know what I said?
I said that. I said, look, that sort of stuff impresses Pep.
Yeah, 100%.
Putting it in, them things stick. Putting it in, he's active. He's putting the practice in, but he's also got a reward for it and showing he's like, mate, that's what I want, more of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you are Echeverri, who's kind of trying to push to not be loaned out and to, start getting some starting time, you will have to do those things on the training pitch to impress Pep. You will have to do that. As simple as that.
And even more so, like doing it in the game. Well, the game's not. It wasn't a massive game to play it in, but it's being able to say, I'm confident enough to step up and just smash it in and do it, and we'll celebrate it off we go. We'll do it again. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Do you know the other thing that I quite liked? The fact that Echeverri was allowed to take the free kick.
Yeah, in years gone by, there'd have been a senior player over that and said, "Look, mate, I don't give a shit."
I mean, and spot on, bro. And look, we don't know. It could have been Pep saying any free kicks this game he's had because he's been putting in more. Could have been that, but if it is that, that's a good sign from Pep because I think in the past Pep would have just gone with no.
It could be that set piece coach that said, "Right, this guy's on it. He takes it. Let us put into practice what we're seeing in training."
Yeah, exactly that. And the fact Bernardo was stood next to him. Bernardo was club captain. Let him take it. And right, because I know there's been this outrage about Bernardo being club captain, right? But I think someone mentioned it on a show about when we played, I think it was Patrick, when we played, was it the Chelsea game? When Kuzanov made the mistake. And so Bernardo kept dropping back into defence and talking to him.
On that spot. Yeah.
And now you see this with, I don't know if maybe Bernardo might be the end of this season. We might look at Bernardo because I don't think he's going to play loads and loads of games, right? But I think we might look at Bernardo and think, you know what, maybe he's not as bad a captain as some of us thought because he definitely has the right mentality.
Yeah,
definitely has a winning mentality. Right, that was the Echeverri was the second goal. First goal, Gundogan's. Was it meant? Or was that a cross?
That's just dinking it into an area that, and to be fair, the keeper was like their keeper was like a training cone, right? When he just sort of fell in the back of the net, like just gave up on life. He was like, I don't know where that's going, fall over. Yeah,
yeah. And shout out to Haaland for actually leaving it as well.
Yeah, because I mean, and another day you might have just done a diving header and just absolutely levitated and took it, but it was going in, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of people would have
always stick it in the area and let's hope.
Yeah. All right, so that was the second. The third, I'm trying to go through all the goals here. The third goal.
Where's the back post one? Was somebody at the back post, was it? I can't remember now.
Hold on. So we got a Bobb. The Bobb one was later. The Cherki one was later. Gundogan's second was later. Echeverri. Who else scored? Yeah, sorry.
The Haaland penalty. Was
the Haaland penalty. Yeah. What's that? Right. I thought that was harsh as fuck. I can't.
I've given up. I know what. Over the last 2-3 years, I've just given up everything. Claiming for a penalty, saying that's not a penalty, it's pointless now. Yeah. Everything's a penalty in it.
Yeah,
I just don't even get excited anymore. It's like, all right.
Do you know my biggest confusion out there, right, is, and this probably one of the biggest issues in football for me was that basically there's no consistency and a lot of rules are down to interpretation.
I mean, that's what it's always been like. It's always been like that, yeah.
But as we move into a world of VAR and a world of automation, you can't have everything has to be black and white. It can't be down to interpretation, because if it's down to interpretation, you can't have automation, right? Now, my issue here is with this one is if that is a penalty, then every single corner in Premier League football and probably in world football, there is going to be a foul like that. That's the bit that confuses me. So that was a foul. But on corners, people are allowed to get each other in headlocks and throw each other all over the gaff. Yeah. And the ref never, ever calls on corners, right? And that's the bit that confuses me, because ultimately it's the same thing as a cross. So I don't know. I thought it was a bit harsh. By the rules, it's probably a penalty, but I do think it was a little bit harsh.
They're the sort of penalties that get given at the start of the season when referees have been told to clock them down. You get one of them every game, and then a month later it's like, someone's basically getting turned over in a box and nothing happens. It's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, change, he's done it.
Yeah. Right. And then, by the way, I've seen people mention Haaland's performance. We are going to talk on a few of the other things. I'm just going through the goals first. The next one was the Oscar Bobb goal.
Bobb, yeah.
Great finish.
That's what he does, isn't it?
Yeah.
Puts inside and has a goal. And he's not afraid to have a pop. And it was caught everyone by surprise, right? And obviously the keeper was a training goal again in net, but.
And that's what we want to see. We want to see Bobb on the pitch. We want to see Bobb getting goals, being clinical, and just Bobb getting his confidence back to where it was last summer. Because that then creates the whole, is it Bobb that plays on the right? Is it Foden that plays on the right? Is it Savio that plays?
Yeah.
Bless me. Sorry. And then Gundogan's second, again, great finish.
Took that well, didn't he? Took it well. Yeah. Good first touch. And just powered through and just a good finish. It's what he does, doesn't it? That's what he's always done.
I think that's the key, man. I think that is the key. It's just when you see finishes like that, you just look like that's what Gundogan's got in him.
Made a career out of them.
Yeah.
Better further forward, making runs into the box.
Yeah, exactly that.
Best for us.
And then the Cherki finish, which is good for Cherki. And I know Cherki did also create the Gundogan goal. Better performance when Cherki came on than we saw in the first performance. I wonder why.
Difference that first one.
No. Well, playing the false nine was bizarre.
Just one of them. Just go out there and play, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we'll work on things. I thought that Dwight York, Andy Cole sort of dummy over, step over the ball and dummy and go back for the return. Often, mate.
No.
The fact that he's looked over his shoulder, seen it, and stepped over it, and Haaland's been clever enough to lay it off, and it goes in, mate. That's something to look forward to. I think
that's the thing. I think seeing Haaland and Cherki together is what we want to see. We don't want to see Cherki in the false nine. Me personally,
no,
that's not ever going to. You want Cherki to be receiving the ball, looking up the pitch, right? You don't want to see him receiving the ball with his back to the goal at any point. You want
him basically being able to impact the ball as soon as he gets to it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's weak foot finish. Apparently, he doesn't have a weak foot. He's just as bang on with both, and that's Some players you can always tell they've got a weak foot. De Bruyne didn't have a weak foot.
Yeah. Yeah, he ain't got a weak foot. When you watch him in training, the guy left foot, right foot.
Some players just as good with both.
Yeah,
and he's one.
Yeah. And then the final goal was the Cherki was the last one. Cherki was the last one. Yeah,
Foden missed a sitter, didn't he? At the end, that should have been it.
Did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he missed an absolute sitter on the edge of the 6-yard box, 1-on-1, just hit it at the keeper.
Okay.
It's like in 93rd minute, he scored that. We're top of the group, and he just missed an absolute sitter.
Yeah, we would have gone top actually, wouldn't we? Us and Juventus equal on goals. So Haaland, I think when we talk about Haaland having a stinker, I think we're saying Haaland, apart from the penalty in front of goal, he didn't score. I actually think Haaland had an all right game again, link-up play-wise. I think Haaland, I saw more movement from Haaland in this game. I actually saw Haaland link up quite well in this game.
Yeah, he's got players around him. He's got. I said this to LB last night. He's got players around him, and in the last season or so,
yeah,
the genuine service is only coming from one player, and that was De Bruyne.
Yeah.
So he's kind of.
And let's be honest, that wasn't always coming. I think
mentally he'll always be like, well, in the last year, he's like, De Bruyne's on the ball, and now I can make a move, and I know something's going to come. Whereas now he's looking at it, you have Marmoush around him, Cherki's there. Reinders can play a pass.
Yeah.
I've like Bobb, Doku, Savio. These lads are going to be looking out for Haaland. So it's kind of making him be a bit more sharp and saying, I've got to make these runs 5 times out of 6, 7. Something's going to happen for me. Whereas previous seasons, it's like you can see his head's down, he's laying outside, and he's not making effort to get into the box. Whereas now he'll be on it because he knows these guys will find me. And if they find him, he's likely to score.
Yeah, there was a little 1-2. There was a little 1-2 he played with Bernardo Silva, and it was a bit. We've seen it. We have seen it over the 3 years so far, right? But not enough for me. And he laid the ball off to Bernardo Silva. And the minute he laid the ball off to Bernardo Silva, he made the run and received the ball back. And he just dragged it right. He didn't connect with it quite right. But that is that's what we saw of him at Dortmund so much. And I just feel like with the players that we now have in this team, we might see Haaland getting more space to make those runs. I mean, a prime example is Ait Nouri down the left-hand side. He's definitely been told by Pep, when we've got the ball, you're a wing-back. You're almost a winger. Yeah. Because he was so far forward in that game. And that, for me, I mean, it was his first game for City, and he was flying down that left-hand side, whipping the ball in. I think it's probably going to take Haaland a minute or two to get used to, right, when Ait Nouri's there, there's different positions I'm going to have to take up.
Yeah. And that just brings the best. That makes Haaland more of a threat because you've got to do stuff that people haven't planned for in a defensive, from the other teams. Because that's when last year he was kind of just occupy that 9 slot and don't move, mate. And I see a lot of people say he doesn't do much, but you ask 2 centre-backs who've got Mike Haaland between them, knowing full well that for 95 minutes, they've got to be on it. If they make one mistake next season, a goal, that sort of concentration levels are huge. Yeah. So now you've got somebody like Haaland who's going to be all over the place looking for a goal. It's going to make it even harder for teams to defend against him.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Just got a couple of super chats, bear with me. Yeah. First one. Big up, boys. Yes, Alan. Nice to see you. We will get you on this week, Alan. Sorry, I was saying earlier, I had a couple of days off. I've just been suffering like a pussy, but I'm back now. And the second one from Lee Simmons, who is saying, hay fever injection is called Kenalog, bro. It's 50 to £90 to go private, or some people that do lip filler can do it too. Well, my other half actually does do Botox and all those things. So, yes, she's already...
What's something that changed, didn't you? You look different.
No. Do you know what? She's told me what I need to get. She's on it. She's proper once. She's like, I think one of the first times we went on a date, she was like going, have you ever had Botox? I was like, fuck off, no. She's like, oh, I think, I could do one here, a little bit there. And something under here to get rid of them. I'm like, no, I'm not having none of that. But no, she's actually looking into, the only thing is at the moment is getting hold of the actual, that's what it's called, the getting hold of the Kenalog is difficult because I think everyone's grabbed hold of it. I think now you can actually get it done from Boots and Boots. So now the mainstream have got hold of it. They'll be buying all of it up, wouldn't they? But so I back to. So I appreciate the super chat though, Lee. Thanks for looking out. And anyone else, if you do suffer from hay fever, there you go. That's what you need to get. Fucking hell. Yeah, we'll leave that there, Dens. We'll leave that there. Yeah, but Ait Nouri getting down that left-hand side and whipping the ball in. That was, I was watching the game actually at times, getting excited, thinking we've got a left back. We've actually
it's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
We've got a left back.
Yeah,
we've got. You know, it was almost like memories of Mendy at one point.
Mendy, being a weirdo aside, he was a good left back.
He was.
Until he got injured. He offered something that we wanted, and we just never been back since.
He didn't play much, let's be honest with you.
Before he had his cruciate ligament, he was good.
Yeah, but the one thing that I always remember is he was limited the amount of games he also played with Aguero because of Aguero injuries and his injuries, right? Yeah. But the way that Mendy played was perfect for Sergio Aguero because he'd look up, first touch, just put the ball in, low front post, and Aguero would just eat them up. But there was only really limited times that but Ait Nouri down the left. Do you know what I've found with him? His dribbling's cold, but also because he is quite, and it's when you see pictures of him, sometimes he looks quite little. He's tall. Right.
Yeah, he's a bit of a unit, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's quick. He's nimble.
And even when the ball looked like it was a bit far away from him, a defender might take it off of him, he'd stretch out and win it back.
Yeah.
Push it on someone else.
Like Rodri-esque extra long leg thing and going on.
Yeah, exactly that. Where he seemed to, you're thinking, oh shit, we're going to lose.
You think he's got half a oh shit, he's away.
Yeah, he's not.
One thing I like about him, as I noticed when he played at Wolves, is there's something to be said about a player. Everyone can play a pass, but the ball is always accurate to the right foot and the right distance. He's just neat and tidy.
Yeah,
he's a real He'll play the ball to someone's correct foot at the right in their stride, or they're receiving it at the right balance. Whereas some players are a bit scruffy, they just play it near them. He will ping. He's one of them players that will ping it to the right foot that's got the balance, or they're coming onto it in a different direction, or Haaland's holding off and he's like, I'll play it into his strong foot. That's something that goes unnoticed in a lot of players, and he's definitely got that ability to play the right pass with the right weight at the right, so something can happen straight away rather than like you pay a bad pass and someone's got to control it and it stops momentum. He's kind of got that neat and tidy, efficient passing. Yeah.
See, this as well, he moves off the ball. Agreed. That's something that I really like about Kuzanov as well. If you ever watch Kuzanov, when Kuzanov passes a ball straight away, he's not static. He's thinking about where he needs to get to next. That is, I agree with that. Is there a world where Ait Nouri and Doku could play together down the left-hand side? Right.
Yeah, there is a world, yeah. I wouldn't say it was something I would see a lot of, but you just never know, do you?
I don't think we will see a lot of, but
it wouldn't surprise me if you see some of it. But
if you see Ait Nouri and Doku on the left-hand side together, right, they're going to need 4 defenders to take him out. They're going to need 4 players. If Doku and Ait Nouri, right, the way both of them can dribble, they can take 4 players out of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know how it can work, and I know that Pep doesn't overly like a touch line hugging winger and a fullback like Ait Nouri. It's a bit like Sane and Mendy we didn't see together much.
The way you negate that is if you play them two on one side, you don't need much width on the other. You need a solid defensive right back. That I know people don't want to hear this, but that if you play a Doku and an Ait Nouri on one side, to caveat that on the right wing is going to be somebody like Bernardo Silva, and people aren't going to want to see that, but that is how you get that on that side. On the right side, you have somebody who's just willing to come inside and just stand there and just do what he needs. That's how that sort of thing goes. I think you're not going to have a Savio on the other side and then another attacking right. You're going to need some balance, and that's where that comes from.
I think if you were to do that, what you'd probably do is then maybe play. Right. So would this work with that? If you were to play, Ait Nouri on the left, Vardiol, Diaz, Kuzanov.
Or an Akanji, that's what you're looking for.
Or Akanji, yeah. So ultimately a centre-back that is not going to be, that's playing right back. And then a midfield of Rodri, Reinders, Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Right. And then up top, you'd have Doku, Haaland, Cherki, as an example.
Or Mamu. So I think that's how you do that.
Yeah.
I think that's how you do that. Is you take.
I think you'd have to ultimately, and your right back would ultimately be a right centre back.
Yeah, you just shift across into a 3.
Yeah, shift across into a 3. Yeah. I think that. And do you know what? And when you say that, we might see that this season.
That's how you get the balance. Yeah.
If we don't get a right back,
and get some sort of weird attacking right back who's going to be like the version of Ait Nouri on the right hand side, he's just gone with 2 centre backs and 1 midfielder and the rest. He just have fun, lads. I can't see it, but take the reins off. Well, so, it is possible. It is possible to have that.
Yeah, I think so. So actually, by the way, talking of Núñez quickly, did you see that? Did you see his chance?
I didn't.
Oh, mate, it's beautiful. So he received the ball kind of in their area with his back to the goal, and he flicked it up, headed it twice, and while he was heading it, swiveled and volleyed it, and it was that far wide of the right. Oh, it's beautiful, man. He's a
really good technical player, and
this is it. Sums it up like a sea lion. He was like balancing it like done.
All right, okay. He's a really good technical player, and if he didn't play for City, he'd do really well at somewhere else.
Yeah,
He would be a baller for someone like Villa. You know what I mean? In midfield, where there's different expectations of him.
Yeah. I have a feeling that look, if he does get game time this season, I think he's going to do all right, because I think last season he came into last season off of a first season where he barely played. Right.
Yeah.
His confidence would have been low. He started on the left as a winger. Just as his confidence got there playing as a left winger, he got dropped, then got thrown in as a right back.
And was honking for the first bit of few games, wasn't he? Giving mistakes away.
Yeah, but he got turned into a right back during City's worst spell. Yeah. Right.
There's got to be some credit given to him for sticking at it, because some people would have just gone, "Nah, I'm done here." Calvin Phillips is one, and he's just done.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Calvin Phillips said, "Nah, I'm out." I mean, he didn't say nah, but he just wasn't good enough. Simple as that. Yeah. Simple as that. And we're talking about a Calvin Phillips that actually got given a chance during a treble-winning season, right, where we were playing a hell of a lot better than we were when Núñez got given his chance. Núñez got given his chance because we were underperforming, and we didn't have a right back, and that's why he got his chance. So yeah, I think the fact that he's stuck to it, he's certainly going to be going into this season with far more confidence. Now, next thing I want to talk about is centre backs, because I almost feel like I have. In fact, I am going to use my phone to write this. In fact, now I'm going to write it down here. Right. So we have as centre backs Vardiol, Diaz, Kuzanov, Stones, Hayes, Akanji. Any others?
Okay.
Fucking hell.
7, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. We have 7 defenders. Now, in the last couple of days, I have heard John Stones saying he wants to stay.
Yep.
Or he is staying. I've heard Pep say that Vitor Hayes, he doesn't want to loan out, that he sees him as part of, he wants to keep him.
Around the team,
At which point, right, we're probably going to say, is it fair to say that Ake is now, well, between Ake and Vardiol, they are also our left-sided cover? Or is Nico O'Reilly now our left-sided cover?
I don't think O'Reilly's in that. I think Ake is going to be your left-sided centre-back and left-back.
Okay,
back
cool.
Up to Vardiol. Yeah.
So for me, right, if Pep really wants to keep Vitor Hayes, right, Right. Is there a world where Kuznov gets loaned out?
No.
No.
No, I think they're going to, based off historical data, the injury people just don't become injury free.
Yeah,
so
agreed,
you've got to imagine John Stones. If he does stay, if you get 20 starts out of the season, you've done really well.
Yeah,
you know. Same with Ake. If Ake can stay, I don't think he's going to stay injury free. So you're basically they're basically one centre back between them, and then you have Kuznov to be what would probably be the second or third choice right centre back.
Yeah. So does that mean Akanji's going to be sold?
I think so. He didn't cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
He is a solid right back if we needed to play that. You know, that sort of there's somebody solid. I just think he's the most dispensable out of them all.
See, that's I've seen someone say. In fact, I'm going to put this comment up: sell Stones, keep Akanji, and loan Reece. I think the Akanji hate is forced. I kind of hear you on the Akanji.
I don't think anyone hates Akanji.
He does get a bit online. He does get a bit.
Yeah, but I think there's some mutants in it. But if you think about it, he's never done anything wrong. You know, he's steady on the ball, and he's big, strong, and he's quite nippy. You know, and he came out of nowhere. Look, Dortmund fans didn't like him. And City signed him on near deadline day, right? It was like, City have nabbed him for, what was it, 17 million or something?
What was it? I think it was less than that, you know.
11, 17, I don't know. So City basically nicked him from Dortmund, thinking, why are we signing Dortmund's fifth choice centre back? And he come in and he had 2 good seasons. So it's like, you know, he's come in, done a job. He's obviously good around the place, but he's the most dispensable.
20 million euros, so it probably is about 70 million.
Yeah, so nicked him in and done a job. I mean, them sort of players are priceless.
Yeah. But, see, I think he's been. I think Akanji has been good. I think he came in that first season. To be honest with you, centre backs often can take a little bit of time.
He's an experienced international footballer. Yeah, he's played a lot of European football.
Yeah, he definitely hit the ground running, I would say. I think one of the issues for me slightly is I think Pep tried to play him as a John Stones ball-playing defender, right?
Yeah.
And I don't believe that's him. I don't think he's a good enough ball-playing defender. I think
I
think that's the issue is when you're asking for Akanji to step into midfield and go forward into the final third and maybe be a little bit creative, he's not John Stones, and he never will be John Stones, because there's a reason why John Stones was one of Pep's first ever signings. There's a reason why from a young age John Stones was spoke about so highly as a ball-playing centre-back, because he's a special talent at that. And Akanji will never be that. And I think that's where some of the hate comes from.
That's just weird, but he never did anything wrong, though. He always tried. It's not like you're not putting someone in and he's making mistakes. You're thinking, oh my God, this guy I don't care. He's a good player.
Yeah. I agree with you. Very intelligent player.
I can see him going where I can see him I can see him replacing like Gahey at Palace.
Right. And this is where when we come to do I want to sell Akanji as far as is it, you know what, I want him out. I don't think he's good enough. To be fair, I don't think there's many players that I'd ever say I want out but it's more that if John Stones has said he's staying, right, it's easy to say, and this is something I see online a lot, right? Sell John Stones.
He's got no sell value.
This is it. You know when people say sell someone, yeah? And this summer, I feel like I've been doing it a lot. I've seen people say, what players are leaving? City don't know what players are leaving because you can't force a player under contract to leave, right? You have to wait for a bid to come in, right?
And otherwise, he's on a massive chunk of money as well.
And this is the thing. I would, if we had an option, I'd sell John Stones. And it's an awkward thing to say because we love John Stones, but it's the right thing to do at this point is to sell John Stones. But the money he is on, of course he's saying I want to stay because he's on about 250 grand a week. Anyone that comes in for him are probably going to say, we'll give you 150, right?
They're not even going to pay that. They're not even going to pay that for him. So City have got to swallow that money. So
yeah,
I think the value in John Stones is he isn't a homegrown player, and to sell somebody like John Stones and to give up a homegrown slot, you have to pay for somebody to come in for that, and that's going to the centre backs we've got. I City are going to go out and spend 70 million on a centre back to be. Because that's what you have to do. Because that's kind of what you're replacing.
Yeah.
So I think having him around for another year and then let his contract go and let him disappear at the end of the year, golden handshake sort of stuff, that works.
This is a good point, because I do think that when it's a World Cup year, players do want to play football, right? Players will try and look. Like, for example, I think Grealish will be urgently looking for a move because he knows this is, and John Stones as well. But I would say on John Stones, if John Stones is fit, right, then John Stones will more than likely
be in
England's squad, right?
Yeah, because England haven't got centre backs.
No, we haven't got. I mean, we've got young up and coming centre backs that are beginning to look all right. But John Stones is an experienced, when he's fit, amazing defender, right? So I think with him, Akanji, again, if Switzerland qualify, Akanji will be in there. So I don't know the defence thing at the moment. I think, and I do hear what you're saying with Akanji, that we would get money for Akanji that we probably wouldn't get for other players. So
I think you're
looking at it.
You'll get 10 million for an Akanji.
Oh, I think they get more, you know.
Well, 10, 50. I mean, City tend to honour the fact what they pay for somebody. You know, they're not going to flip him for 60 million, are they? They're going to say we only pay.
No. But I do think. I mean, look, realistically, if Gahey leaves Palace, and
Palace have got a massive bag of money, they'll say we want 25. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Almost surprised if it's somewhere similar to what we paid for him.
Yeah. Another defender to talk about, actually. Sorry, say that again. What, the weather? What a bit cooler. No. Hey, Cass, come here quickly. Don't. So someone said this earlier in the comments. Come on, just put your head on the screen. Pause. Mm-hmm. Someone said Pulpy looks like a slightly older version of Cass.
One, he's got a better beard than me.
Yeah, his beard's stronger.
And he's got black hair.
And his hair's a bit darker.
You know what it is? People see white people and say, yeah, they look like each other.
Well, we've been getting, and talking of white people looking like each other, one of the comments that I just got, where is it? I started it. Question for you, Pulpy.
Who looks better, Ball, LB, or Dats?
You can do a different answer on each show if you want.
Well, I said to LB, he looked like Sibierski, and he does.
How's that, Baldy?
Don't call me Baldy.
Baldy bouncer. I've known you to have shorter hair longer than the LB. LB's more of a shock factor, isn't it?
Well, so LB shaved his on Friday, didn't he?
Yeah.
So did I. And
you've had shorter hair. You've had shorter hair on more occasions.
And yeah. It's agreed. But now everyone's saying, Dap's gone for the LB look. I'm like, nah. Because when I saw LB had shaved it, bro, do you know what it was? I woke up Friday and hay fever was just really bad. And it's not just when I get, like, I suffer with allergies. I get irritable and I'm itching and my hair was long. And I just thought, I'm having this off, and just went in the shower and just literally took it all off and won all over. But
a mate of mine had similar hair to use, you both of you, and he shaved it once. He looked like Odd Job, from James Bond. And I said to him, mate, your hair's never going to come back, and it didn't. So just be careful when you take it back. When you take it down, there's a chance your hair will say, you know what, lads, you don't fancy this hair thing. I'm done. I'm not going to bother growing back. So
don't tell me that. Well, it might not grow back.
Your hair might just say, you know what, I'm sick of trying to break through the skin here. I'm done.
Yeah. So I know we were linked with Wesley before, and people weren't too sure about him. Perfect timing.
Somewhere else. I've seen some
Brighton.
Yeah.
Apparently, Brighton have offered 20 million for him, but when we were in for him, they were talking 40 million. So I don't think whatever club he's at the moment, I don't think they'd take 20 million. I don't think they would. If they know, until City have got a right back, I think they'd be very silly to go and accept 20 million for him. But he had a really good game the other day in
I think City will be paying quite a lot of attention to him in this tournament.
Yeah. Well, naturally, we've got a scout. We're over there. Scouts will have been at that game.
Yeah.
So because Livramento, and this is the thing. I think we just need to decide whether this Livramento thing is a thing or it isn't a thing.
I think it is. He's looked good at that on the 21s. He's looked well out of it. He looks decent at both left and right back. He's massive. He's far too good for that standard.
What standard?
Last time.
Oh, under 21s. Not Newcastle. That wasn't Newcastle.
No, at the 21 level. He's only going to get better. So it's now or never, I think. Because if you don't get him this year, you ain't getting him next year. No way. Not another year's with a man's football, and he's playing in the Champions League and stuff. It's now or never.
I reckon it's one of those ones where probably when we're back from the Club World Cup, maybe before, maybe it will be a conversation of, look, he's looking good. Yeah. This is how much it's going to cost. It's a lot of money.
What's it going to cost you? Let's have an adult conversation. Yeah. They will. Everyone's got a price.
Yeah.
I know Newcastle fans want to wear that, but everyone's got a price.
They have 100%. I think that's what it'll be. It's look, this is going to cost 75 to 80 million. Do we want him or not? I think that's
I don't want City to go in and saying, look, here's 40 million because that's taking a piss. But
no.
It's like we're serious with Grealish. If we're serious, here's basically an offer you can't refuse. If you're going to say, here's 80 million, we'll pay you 60 up front and 20 over the next 3 years, and you get 60 in your bank account tomorrow via Monzo bank transfer, they'll be like, I'd rather bet that. Yeah, I think so.
What the hell is this? I have no idea what that's about, the vibe, but appreciate the comment. Actually, there was another thing I did see last week that apparently City are tracking or keeping an eye on Cesc Fabregas as Pep's replacement. I could see that,
He's in that mould, isn't he? Who did I see talking about him the other day? Henri was talking about on the overlap.
Right. Yeah, he was.
He really told me about his approach to football.
Yeah.
And what he's doing there and the way he sees the game. It's that La Masia stuff, isn't it? Not him. If it's not him, Xavi's done it. Iniesta will be a good coach. Busquets is still playing now for Miami.
Is he still playing?
Played for him in Miami the other day. He still looks like he could do a job in Premier League,
mate.
So you can rule it out and say for Fabregas because he's not the name, but you just never know. Because Guardiola started out like that. They all start out somewhere like that, and because Enrique started out, you know what I mean. These players from that academy with that mindset, don't rule them out.
Nah, definitely not.
Might not be fashionable.
100%, and I think, look, exactly that. He's come through La Masia, right? He's at a club where, they're not buying stars. He's
developing players, coaching players.
Yeah, he's coaching players.
He's been coached by Wenger. Wenger turned him into 16. Turned him into one of the best players in the world.
Yeah. Would Pep have coached Fabregas?
No, I don't think so. It was
before. You sure?
Yeah. No, it was well before that. It was mid-2000s when Arsenal bought him.
No, I mean when he went back to Barcelona. Remember, he left Arsenal and went to Barcelona. No. You sure? Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was after. I think Enrique got him, right?
Does anyone know? Hold on. Let me have a look. So, Fabregas. So, he was at Barcelona from 2011 to 2014. That was before Pep. Was that before Pep? That can't have been before Pep.
That was after 2008, wasn't it?
2011 to 2014.
Yeah, I was Luis
Pep's last stint. 2011 to 2014. Hold on, bear with me. Pep Guardiola.
Pep left in 2012, so he would have been.
So he would have had him for a year. Yeah, he would have had him for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have had him for a year. Yes, I would have had him for a little bit. Right. But ultimately, that I've seen what they've said is they like his mentality and the mentality he's bringing in at Cosmo. the other thing that I just think, and by the way, I'm not saying he's my first choice. Let me be clear. Luis Enrique for me, agreed.
I agree. Yeah, but
yeah,
you're asking the hypothetical. Can you take one of the most sought after managers in the world to us? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. Really. It's like who would I rather sell, Akanji or John Stones? I'd rather sell John Stones. Which one is more realistic to happen? Probably Akanji, right? Yeah. Now, this is the same. Who would I rather, Luis Enrique or Fabregas? I'd rather Luis Enrique, but getting Luis Enrique away from PSG, right, could be quite difficult. Now, I look at Fabregas and I think Pep has 2 seasons left. That probably falls in line maybe with being able to get hold of Fabregas, because you have to look at, managers' availability. And I'm doing that because I don't ever want to be arrogant and go, right, we're Man City, we can go and get whoever we want. I tried that with Wirtz and look how that ended, right? So I'm just thinking more realistic. I'm not mad at Fabregas.
It's that profile thing, isn't it, of that player with the same sort of attitude and the way stuff goes there. Kind of like that Arteta mold, but less of a knobhead. You know what I mean? So,
are you on the Vinny train?
Yeah and no. I'm not full on reach around like LB is.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's full on reach around mode there, isn't he? But I don't know, man. I mean, look, he's doing all right at Dortmund. I just don't know if his style of play is what we want. Would it be too much? Would it be too much of a switch away from what we have? And I just don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody like Fabregas, who's a technically gifted footballer and obviously can coach players and develop players, I think that's more feasible.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't want to think about it, mate, because it's like
2 years of Pep. Do you know what?
2 years of Pep, and it wouldn't surprise me if Pep gets to
he's gone next year.
I don't know, man. You just don't know. You don't know.
Really?
You just don't know how everyone said you just don't know.
Well, I never thought he'd sign one extension. I thought he'd do
that's what I mean. So
I hear you.
He might get to this time, might get to next Christmas and be like, the rumours are coming, do I, don't I? And this team is absolutely ticking over, and he's seeing like Cherki develop into one of the best players in the world, and you're thinking, mate, can I really walk away from this? Life's good.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is that Pep will have been at City for 11 years, right? By the time which is, when you think about it, is mental. If someone said to me, a manager, if you're talking about a manager, right, that the City he loved, right, he spent 3 years as manager, right? He went to Bayern, and I think, was it 3 years at Bayern?
3 years there,
right? So he's done 3 years at Barca, 3 years at Bayern, then he's gone to City, and he will have done 11 years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's more of a commitment than anything you'll ever get. And the longer you do, the harder it is to walk away.
I hear you. Listen, I hope I'm wrong. In fact,
I think there's more to it, mate. Go on.
Yeah.
As I said, I think there's more to it, because I said to LB last night, look, when Pep was going through it at Christmas time, it was around the time his missus walked out, and you're thinking, as a man, you're thinking, there's not much to look forward to here. I've got my job, and my job is it.
Yeah.
And I imagine City put their arms around him and said, look, mate,
100%.
What's best for you? Pep's the sort of guy that goes both ways.
Yeah.
So City have done everything for that guy.
Oh, 1,000,000%. And I think I do think that. I think this this season is not a coincidence, right? And even the fact that I got told August last year that the mood around City was a bit weird, right? That it wasn't the same bubbly place that it usually has been, right? And that just it makes so much sense. And as a man, and I always say this, as a man that's been through a divorce, I get it. There would have been periods where I was swinging out at the wrong people. I was angry. I was angry at the world. And definitely 100%. Like it makes sense. It adds up that Pep's been he was going through a hard time. The form dipped, the mood and Khaldoon in his interview said, Pep and I have got closer this season, right? And they were already close. So I 100% agree with you. He will always remember this club stuck with me when they could have.
They could have turned out. Any other most team, Chelsea would have got rid of him ages ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's a loyalty there that goes beyond a contract.
And we have to. I was going to say, look, I want Pep to sign another 2 years after this 2 years. Let's be clear. I need Pep to prove me right this season, not prove me wrong. I need Pep to prove me right this season, and I need to see a different Manchester City, because I'm never going to say he can stay forever. If we start the season badly and have a poor first couple of months, maybe then it would be, is it time that we consider not to ever sack him, but maybe Pep and the club have a conversation.
It's less plausible than I want. It becomes more of like, maybe this is starting to fade a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I'd have him there for another 25 years, mate. Until he's,
so would I, to be fair.
I'd take Pep managers and us being 10th in the league, mate. I just couldn't ever give up with that.
Yeah. I believe in him more so. Yeah, I don't believe Pep is the type of manager that would ever have you 10th in the league, because this season there was moments where we thought we might end up 10th in the league. In fact, at some points we might have even got close to 10th in the league. We still ended up finishing 4th, right?
Third.
Third,
mate.
Third. There we go. There we go. We ended up finishing 3rd. So, and even now we're looking. We can have a conversation about who's looking good as a manager elsewhere. But there's 2 more seasons, and those 2 seasons, I'll be honest. So where I am with company is, company's got to literally land an airplane on the moon for me to want him at Manchester City, right? Because I have to be so confident in his ability that I'm never gonna have an angry word to say about Vincent Kompany, because I love him too much.
Yeah,
right?
he's got to be. Somebody like Vincent Kompany, he's got to be the ultimate candidate, because there's more to it than just bringing a manager in. He's got the legacy of a player,
Yeah, but I've seen, and look, I'll never be, and I'm sure you'll never be, and there's a lot of people probably watching this that will never be, get Vincent Kompany out of my club. But there will be that. If he came and didn't land and have us ultimately winning shit, there will be people saying, get Kompany out of our club, right? I don't want to even read that. I don't want to read that. Like that would hurt me to read that, because I have seen Chelsea fans turn on Frank Lampard, right?
Yeah.
I don't ever want that to be our club, where we're turning on club legends.
United did on Solskjaer. They turned on Solskjaer, didn't they?
Exactly. All these things. I don't ever want that. I'd rather be. And the good thing I do know is that Vincent Kompany himself, many years said, when he first moved into management, has said that he deep down would absolutely love to one day manage Manchester City, but he will only take up that job when he knows he's good enough to manage Manchester City.
It'd be on him. He wouldn't take it. Just let's say the club went to a bit of shit and he was brought in to steady. I don't think he'd want to do that. He'd want to be. He's just got the integrity, man. He wants to be the best version of himself for the club. That means a lot.
Yeah. And look, I know his missus and his kids, they'll want him to manage City. Do you know, apparently, right? So Vinny's missus apparently used to be a DJ, right?
Okay.
And apparently that's how he met her. And he was over in England for a meeting at a football club and contacted at them point, a girl I don't even know if he was seeing her, but a girl that he'd met before, and said, I'm in England, shall we meet up? And she said, what are you doing in England? He said, I'm here for a meeting with a football club. And she said, what football club? And he said, Arsenal. And she said, you can cancel that meeting. If you're coming to England, you're not going to London and you're not going to Arsenal. There's only one club you're coming to. So I don't know if we have to thank her a lot that it was her that basically.
That's true, absolutely. Yeah, she should get a statue.
I mean, she's a blue, isn't she? She's still a blue. She's a blue, so it would make sense. But what did she say? She should get a statue.
Yeah.
What's it called? One of them, not quite
mosaic.
Statues. A mosaic opposite. Yeah. But right, people, we're going to leave it here. Good first show. But anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I've got 2 things actually. One actually. Cool. So I've just seen this morning from Sam Lee that apparently De Bruyne had conversations with Liverpool. He speaks to a few teams. He took 6 months of time between Chicago Fire and Napoli. Juventus had a nibble, and he had a brief conversation with Liverpool.
I can believe that because, right.
Sam Lee said it, belief. So
right, because
I imagine there's some truth in that.
I think there would be truth in it that he had a conversation. I said this at the time, right?
It's what you believe a conversation is, right? Is it? Do you want to sound Liverpool? No, pissed off.
But even then, right? You've got to take everything into consideration. The first thing is the way Manchester City managed it, and we all know it was publicised everywhere. I mean, he said it himself that he wanted to stay and that he wasn't offered a contract. He wasn't happy. Like I know some people at one of the away games had a chat with his missus because she was in the away end, and she said he's really unhappy because he wanted to stay, right? So, firstly, there's the fact that he's unhappy. Now, when you're unhappy, angry, all of a sudden, different types of thoughts come into your head, right? Then there is the fact that okay, cool. So Manchester City weren't willing to pay him his 350 grand a week, which is what he was on. That's why we didn't offer him a contract extension. I do believe that while angry, he might have had a conversation and said, you know what, realistically, if I go Napoli, if I go X, if I go Y, they're going to pay me 250, they're going to pay me 200, they're going to pay me 300. Let me have a word with Liverpool and see if they'll pay me 400 grand a week. Because if they will, while I'm angry at City and City don't want me, I'd consider it.
Yeah.
Either way, he considered it and said no. Like, I think probably the final moment for him was probably the way the fans said goodbye to him. Right? He got.
Yeah, he said himself, didn't he? He was really disappointed at the start, but the sooner when he started to accept it, he kind of like embraced it, sort of thing.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where you might be thinking, I don't like the way City have managed this. Oh, I'm really pissed off with City. Then you get the statue, you get the fans.
You realise, you know what? You realise actually,
you know what? Now, money can't buy this. I want to stay here. So I think it's one of those things where a conversation is a conversation. That doesn't mean it's a decision. You'd always have a conversation. I'm happy living in this house. If someone knocked on my door and said, listen, I'll give you 800 grand for your house right now, I'd be packing my bags and saying, here, you can have the keys. I'm gone.
Transfer I'm off, keep everything
out, I'm gone. Yeah. Right? It's just a conversation.
Let me get your wallet. I'm off.
So I think that could have happened. Look, he made the right decision. Go Napoli. I'm looking forward to watching him, to be fair. But
I was talking about it last night. I like Napoli. Yeah, there's something about him there. Second
thing you wanted to talk on.
Yeah, so who do you think this loan target is that's going to Lyon? I know Juma Bar's turned him down, hasn't he? He wants to go.
Has he?
Yeah, apparently he wants to go to Nice, which I understand that, but they want somebody.
Hold on, is Nice where? No, is it Lens last season?
Is it Lens? And Lyon, but I think his choice is go to OG Nice, which I get that.
Okay, so we're loading him up for another season.
My reason we're asking is, would you? I said it on LB show last night. If Oscar Bobb isn't going to get the game starts he needs to show his fitness, is there value in him going to Lyon and playing 25 games there at a high level, or playing starts the City and getting 20? What's the more value in terms of long term, not this next season? If you look at it for the next 10 years, is a season of Oscar Bobb getting his match fitness and absolutely tearing up another league better for us than he would be having a season trying to get his fitness back at City and playing bit parts?
So I can tell you now that is Pep's thought. I got told about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, probably about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, because
you mentioned it to me, yeah.
I got told that Oscar Bobb, that City are willing to consider a loan option for Bobb because Pep worries that if he'll get enough game time this season to get back to his optimal fitness.
Yeah.
But he would not be willing to sell Oscar Bobb because he sees Oscar Bobb long term as a Manchester City player. But
I think we all see that, right?
Yeah. So I mean, look, if Oscar Bobb wants to be sent on loan there, I'd understand it, and I'd be happy that he's not being sold. Do you know what? You could even loan him for 6 months. You could loan him.
I was like, go to Christmas, mate, and then see how you do.
Yeah.
If he goes there, it's not working out, you bring you back and let him, at least. He'll be getting match fit there because he's guaranteed to play games, but also he's probably going to be one of their better players, and they're crying out for somebody like that.
Yeah, I think Echeverri, the same with Echeverri, though. If I saw Echeverri was the one that was being loaned there, again, I would think, okay, with Oscar Bobb and with Echeverri, I mean, they're slightly different. Echeverri's more an age thing, right? Oscar Bobb is more of he's had a whole season out injured, right?
Yeah. In the same way, what people don't, it's when he's developing into a man as well. He's turned 21, he's still growing. Imagine the season and not playing football while your body's still growing. And it's a big thing, that.
So with both of them, and the key is with both of them, like it's if they're being loaned out to a team like Lyon as well, who Lyon, I think I got it wrong. I don't know if it was on a show with you before or not, but Lyon got Champions League football. So
no, they got Europa League, didn't they?
Because that's why there's an issue with
Palace, isn't they?
Right, okay. So they've got either way. They've got European football, so he's going to be playing European football. And
Conference League, one of them.
It's definitely not Conference League. It might be.
It's one of them.
Yeah. No, it might be.
Did they miss out? I don't know if they finished seventh. I don't know. To be fair,
hold on. Let me have a quick look. They definitely 100%. They got European. What football did Lyon? What European football? Unless someone in here knows.
I don't know. It's one of them. You just don't know.
But either way, for either of them, what football did? Oh, what fucking hell! Well, someone in here say they finished fifth. Yeah, they did finish fifth. So I don't know in that league what fifth equates to. But either way, they've got European football, so they're going to be going to a team that are playing in a pretty physical league, because the French league is pretty. They've got Europa. Thank you. So,
okay.
It makes sense to me. The other one would be for me. Is it Taipan, the player we've
Naipan, yeah, the young kid,
Naipan, yeah. He would be another one, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too, but the value in us as a team is loaning Bobb to them. There's more value in that for us as a football club than it is loaning out Naipan, I think. But Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't realise that Jemba Ba had turned him down, but I would, me personally as well, by the way, I probably would consider loaning out Vitor Hayes. But we'll see.
Yeah, Pep's pointing around, right, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, if Pep's happy with him, then maybe we're going to see a bit more of him. But I don't know. At this point, until we see what players are going out, we don't really know. But I quite like the fact that that Bar is going out on loan for one more season, because I think then after that, if we see, because we've only seen him perform well for 6 months over there, if we see him perform at that level for next season, then I think we've got to be looking at him and going, do you know what, we need to bring him back now.
Well, that's like Saliba, innit? Saliba had a good couple of years in France, so you know, it's place for the future, man.
This is a good point, love. Interesting. That's something I guess we'll see in the coming weeks, is how we're going to deal with this homegrown, what players go, because there has to be one or two centre-backs leaving the club, whether it be permanent or on loan. So I guess we will see over the coming weeks.
A lot of moving parts coming in July. We know that.
Yeah. Prediction: do you think we beat Juventus? I saw earlier we haven't beat Juventus.
I think we beat them.
You think we beat them? Yeah. I feel like we might do. I feel like. Do you know what? I saw something the other day. Pep's never not won. Every Club World Cup he's been in, he's won.
Has he?
So yeah.
You know what? I still think there's something in the fact people are saying we'll get Real Madrid. Real Madrid might not even qualify. You know.
Yeah, they looked better the other night. Their first game, they looked really bad.
You never know. You just never know.
Yeah,
because some of these big teams have gone out. Who else went out last night? I've had someone who went out. Somebody else
went out.
Another team. Somebody else went out. Some other teams have gone out. Where is it?
Who else? Oh, Chelsea. No, Chelsea will go through. If Chelsea win, they still go through. But Chelsea lost the other day, didn't they?
Where's the tables? What's this? I can't find it. Why aren't things so easy to find? cricket. I just typed in CWC and it's come up with a Cricket World Cup. So I'm just
it will do now. Yeah. Right, people.
Yeah.
Gonna leave it here for now. We are back this evening at 6 p.m. with myself, Steve, and Nobbins, Boys in Blue. So we will be here at 6. This is going to redirect over to Never a Foul. So we're going to be talking transfers more across the whole of the Premier League. This has been Pulp Fiction. We'll be back next Tuesday. You're not away next Tuesday, are you, Pulpy?
No.
No. You'll be ready. You'll be in holiday. You'll be getting in holiday mode, I reckon.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Until then, we are out, people. Peace.
Daps. Score, mate. What score? 4-1. Come on, City. You have done now, mate. You have done now. Hey, mate. AKA your head's upside down, mate.